So then, if you're a woman, again, is it a step forward for to me to just be like, she's a woman, she's married to a man? Is that erasure or is that acknowledgement? For those that follow us, Hope, Giselle, Consciously, and I came together to form what we call the Unlikely Throuple, named from the Hope Giselle herself. We've been on a speaking tour since October, and our first stop was in Atlanta. And since then, I posted some of my thoughts on the throuple, and y'all canceled me. Check this out. I don't feel safe around straight people.
Never fucking said it.
Let me know in the comments if that's you too, because it just got a little more complicated. Consciously is a straight man. He said it many times on the show. But in my head, Hope Giselle is a woman married to a man.
I'm a very binary trans woman.
Just like a straight couple. So if they're both in other gender relationships, is it a step forward or a step back for me to feel like I'm up there with two straight people? I mean, if he's a man attracted to and married to a woman, and she's a woman attracted to and married to a man,
I'm here to call a thing a thing.
let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. I hope Giselle is still here, and then I want to welcome our other castmate of the third of the Unlikely Throuple, Consciously. Are y'all there?
Woo woo, what's up?
Hey, 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 Lee, how you doing?
Doing good, doing good.
So now the true tea is the girls canceled me in the comments. They ran my name all through the mud in the comments because I've been called everything but a child of God because in my head y'all are straight. Now, granted enough, Hope, you have confided in me that you don't identify as a straight woman, but aren't y'all? But the Venn diagram of both of you and straight people, we acknowledge that there's a lot of overlap, right?
Absolutely.
So then, So is it the question that I raise is it a step forward or a step back for me to see you, Hope, as a woman married to a man and think straight?
No. I think my thing is perception is something that does not belong to me. And so I can't tell a person how to perceive me. What I can do is correct that perception once I know what it is, right? But I can't change the way that somebody is going to perceive me. That's above me, literally.
Yeah, the thing I seen the most in the comments came from other trans people, trans women specifically, being like, "Leave it to the cis gay man trying to erase the T." So for me, it's like I've been very mindful of how I respond to those comments, not being, you feel me, a part of the community in the way that y'all are. So it's been very interesting to say the least. You know what I mean?
Now I will say that the growing up that I have done, now being in such close connection with you, Hope, and understanding a lot of how you explain to me your trans experience, is the T is an umbrella. It ain't like the L, the G, and the B. Like bisexual, I've learned is an umbrella to a degree, but gay means gay, lesbian means lesbian, but trans is a gender expression and not a sexual identity. That is what I had to learn. But also, you have told me, Hope, that the trans identifier is something that we cis people put on you because a part of you says that I'm just a woman, right?
Yeah.
So then, if you're a woman, again, is it a step forward for to me to just be like, she's a woman, she's married to a man? Is that erasure or is that acknowledgement?
I think it depends on who you're talking about. I think that there are a lot of trans girls that, to use a term that me and Lee know that there's a negative connotation around, that are just going to be social justice warriors for transness, right? And I think that for those people, it's going to feel like a step back or a progressive step back. And then also, I'm acknowledging that I sit in a little bit of a privilege. I think a lot of, not every single one of them, for those of y'all that are watching this, that's going to feel like you're getting slighted, right? Not every trans girl, but there are some girls that don't sit in the privilege to be able to like be assumed to be a straight trans woman. And so
Yes.
there's a need, or there's this idea that they've been erased because they don't have the privilege to be able to be with a man, whether he's cis or not, and people assume that that's a straight couple because she's visibly trans. And I think that a lot of people feel erased when you take any of us and say this couple is not queer, because it makes them feel like their relationship is then being null and void or put into something that's not um that they don't recognize, because I think that a lot of people in the comments, a lot of people were saying that my relationship with my husband is queer, which I would agree, right? But
It is.
when you are Mhm.
Wait. You would call your relationship with your husband a queer relationship?
Because I'm trans and I'm also not straight.
That
And I
part.
think, like, let me not be delusional about this. Like a couple of years ago there was a trans
Delusional is
woman.
the word of the day.
It is, right?
Okay.
Like, but let's not be delusional about this. I had a trans girl, Carlisha, love her to death. She's in Atlanta. And years ago, Carlisha and I were chilling and we were eating, and she said, "Sis, can I tell you something problematic?" And I was like, "Sure." To make a long story short, Carlisha said that she was no longer going to defend men's sexuality, meaning that she was no longer going to defend the men that date us, love us, want to fuck us as straight
Uh-huh.
men, especially for those of them who seek and solely want to date the girls that have not had surgery. Because part of you has to be a little bit bisexual to be enthralled with the penis.
That part.
And while a lot of that was like, "Oh, bitch, what?" Because at the time I had a penis, I understood where she was coming from. And I think that still, even without one, there is something that is a little queer about men who engage with trans women with the understanding that we are trans, because part of you is going into that situation with the preparation in your mind that you may have to deal with the dick, whether I have one or not. And so once you've made peace with that and you still want to be in that relationship, I think that it's inherently queer. I ain't gonna say you gay, but you're not straight.
She's so
I don't
complete.
know if you heard that
She
whole, but
did that.
literally everybody in here was like,
Because
I
people are
get it.
delusional.
I
because
get
people
it.
are okay. Now the irony of all of that, Lee, and that maybe you have a different relationship with Hope, but me and Hope ain't never discussed anatomy because we've never had a reason to. Now, as a straight person though, in these spaces, and I'm going to ask you to represent straight people for a second, but why is there this infatuation with anatomy when it comes to transness?
I think that because it deviates outside of what we call the norm, I think that many people are just intrigued of policing that. The word I want to introduce to this conversation is heteronormativity, and how we normalize heterosexuality a lot. And I think that because we like to normalize heterosexuality in many different instances, where I get the term heteronormative from, I think that it makes a lot of cisgender heterosexual people always strive to want to normalize what we believe and see as being the default. To me, I think when it comes to like the conversation of do straight men, or do men that date trans women, are they queer, are they gay, this, that, and the other, I think that that conversation becomes a very complex one, especially because, you know what I'm saying, we talk about trans women being women. So if we talk about a man being with a trans woman and that we're questioning that man's sexuality, I think that starts to, you know what I'm saying, muddy waters a bit.
But I
But
think that
that's me coming from my straight perspective.
But I was gonna say, I think that the thing about it is, I'm not saying that a man can't identify as straight if he is attracted to me, or like my husband still identifies himself as straight. I think personally, though, and I think that, like, it's, again, my perception about you is not something that you have to own. It is mine to own because that is my
Oh,
perception,
that's so
right?
good. That was so
You know what
fucking
I'm
good.
saying?
Come on, maturity.
And so it's one of those things where it's just like, my perception might be that men who are attracted to engage, whether you have gone out on the limb and actually gone all the way, or you just watch us inject your dick at home, is that there is a part of you that is inherently attracted to something that is innately masculine. And there's no way around
Yes.
that for me.
Okay.
Howsoever, I understand that a lot of men are just visual and visceral creatures, which means that you see a woman, you see the curves, you see the whatever, the packaging works. Whatever is in that box, you gonna slurp it up because that's what you like. The package that it came in works for you. And
Fucking
so,
parts and not people.
parts and not people, right? Like,
Okay.
I think that,
Okay, so the question I have for both of you, and Lee, I'll direct this to you first because you brought heteronormativity into the conversation. So me processing, like the real that we said, me processing y'all as some straight people, again, me owning my perception of the two of y'all, is that me projecting heteronormativity, or is that just me being, is that me projecting heteronormativity? Let me
I
start
would I
there.
would say Yeah, I would say that was you sliding into heteronormativity where you was just viewing, you feel me, Hope's identity based off of who she's attracted to and not thinking about the gender performance of being trans. I think that that's where it became, you feel me, heteronormative, where it's like, how can I fit into this frame? How I understand what you was doing? Oh, you trans woman, you a woman, you married to a man, straight shit. And it's just like, okay, you know what I'm saying? I get it, you know what I mean? But it doesn't absolve from the linking to heteronormativity. That's what I would say. I think that my grandfather always said the pathway to hell was paved with good intentions. So I don't think he was being malicious. I don't think that you was being, you feel me, I don't think he was trying to be ugly at all. But I do think that it showed your blind spot in how, you feel me, sometimes we are seduced by heteronormativity, and that's the framework and how we view a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? May it be violent or not violent, that it happens, and sometimes happens unintended, but it doesn't change that it's heteronormativity.
Agreed.
And that is the unlikely throuple. Okay, so we are going. The tour continues. Clearly, we won't finish this conversation here. The next stop on the Unlikely Trouble tour is November 21st on the legendary Howard University campus in Washington, D.C. I'm so excited about it. Tickets are free, but RSVP is required. To secure your seat, the ticket link is in the description. A special thank you to the HIV Vaccine Trials Network for helping bring the three of us together and make this possible. We will be right back.